Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. And as always, I'm your host, the Game Master. And today we're going to be talking about the American Bear, a favorite of our players, inspired partially by Werewolf the Apocalypse by White Wolf, as well as Action Comics number 243. But before we get into that, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and as always, be sure to leave us a comment as that really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. We've got a great community here, and it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. With all that said, let's dive in. In the prologue to today's adventure, one of the Reds pays a visit to a beautiful blonde immortal named Circe, who has a reputation as being a legendary sorceress who can turn men into animals. As it turns out, Circe doesn't use magic at all. She uses a serum. She offers Red a drink of water, but it's secretly this serum. And because he drank it, the next morning, he transforms into the creature he most resembles by nature. This was depicted, by the way, in Action Comics number 243 when Superman became a werelion. In Red's case, though, he becomes a werebear, and now he has 5 forms. Form 1 looks completely human, and he's 6'6" in this form. Form 2 resembles a human, but with fur. In this form, he stands 9'9" tall, and he has more muscle than before. Form 3 is the battle mode that he spends most of his time in. In this form, our hero looks like a 13-foot tall anthropomorphic bear man. He has a bear-like head, but human-shaped hands, and he's built like the Incredible Hulk. That's the art that I'm using for this session. Form 4 looks like a huge dire bear, and Form 5 looks exactly like a normal bear. That said, we're only going to be talking about Form 3, the battle mode, in today's game. Which brings us to the main event, which takes place during World War II. As we mentioned in an earlier game session, the Castle Wolfenstein video games were inspired by an actual place called Castle Webelsburg, which in our game is a hotbed for the supernatural. As such, the warrior that the Germans have come to refer to as the American Bear is closing in on Webelsburg, tracking these monsters down to their source. So in today's game, the Germans send a heavy tank after him. Stats for the heavy tank, by the way, can be found on page 120 of the World at War sourcebook for the DC Heroes RPG. The German tank crew targets the American Bear and fires. The enemy's skill is 6, so a 15 or better would normally be needed to hit the bear. But the bear has growth. He's 13 feet tall. So the enemy gets a 1 column shift bonus to hit him, like targeting something as big as a barn, for instance. So that said, the bad guys only need to roll a 13 or better on 2d10 to hit the American Bear. They roll a 5 and a 10 for a total of 15, so they hit. A 32-pound explosive shell hits the bear, exploding. It has the bomb power at level 9 versus his body of 11. Normally, that would do no damage, but the bad guys rolled high and got 1 column shift. So the bear takes 2 points of damage. The bear's regeneration kicks in and gives him 1 hit point back, but he's still down 1. Angry, the bear roars like the Hulk, then Hulk jumps over towards the tank. It's his dex of 9 versus their vehicle skill of 6, so he needs a 7 or better to hit him. He rolls double 7s, which is a critical success. Then he rolls a 7 and a 1 for a grand total of 22. It's his strength of 11 versus the tank's body of 9, so the bear would normally do 4 points of damage, but since he rolled a 22, that's 4 column shifts. So the tank instead takes a whopping 10 points of damage. taking the tank's body down to -1. So the American bear destroyed the German tank in one hit. As such, the bear lets out a celebratory roar. His regeneration also gives him that other hit point back, so he's at full health. The German tank crew radios for help, so another tank shows up. It too fires on the bear, rolling a 7 and a 10. Just like last time, the bear takes 2 points of damage, which just makes him angry. With a strength of 11 APs, the bear can lift 52 tons. In the past, he's flipped over German Panther tanks, which weigh 44.8 tons. But this is a Tiger tank, and it weighs 56 tons. So even though he makes his roll, he still fails. It's just a little too heavy for him. And since he was nice enough to get so close for them, the bad guys shoot him in the face, rolling a 9 and a 4. They hit, but even at this range, they needed a 1 column shift bonus for him to take damage, and they barely fell short of that. Bear's regeneration gives him a hit point back, and he brings his fists down towards the tank, rolling a 1 and a 5. One short of actually hitting it. So as his fists come down, panicked tank crew throws it in reverse and barely avoids the ferocious lycanthrope. The tank fires again, rolling a 6 and a 2. They miss him. He leaps at them, which is an automatic action, and again tries to smash them with his fists. He rolls a 6 and a 3, doing 4 points of damage to the tank. The tank fires, rolling an 8 and a 4, which barely misses him. They are under stress after all and probably think he's going to eat them. He hits them again, doing another 8 points of damage, and the tank is dented up and not doing so good, but it still has 1 hit point left. The tank fires, rolling a 1 and a 5. This just isn't their day. The American bear attacks the tank, rolling a 3 and a 1. So in all his rage, he trips a little, missing the mark. The tank fires again, rolling a 7 and a 4, barely missing. The bear attacks, rolling a 9 and a 5, and the tank is destroyed. And the bear has all of his hit points back now thanks to his regeneration. As before, he roars. Which brings us to the epilogue of this adventure. The American bear enters Castle Webelsburg, where the villains are trying to summon Mephisto. One of the villains is named Kulak, and he has 42 APs of sorcery, which is ridiculous, which he substitutes for teleportation, banishing the American bear. So the American bear slowly begins to make his way back towards Germany again. And that was it for that game session. We enjoyed playing it. We hope you enjoyed hearing about it. If so, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell for notifications, and as always, be sure to leave us a comment, as that really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you in the next adventure.